Take one step, you will see the inside of her head.
Nobody would have ever thought that blue spandex and red underwear could become a fashion statement. But thanks to Kal-El, this combo is also the go-to outfit for flexing.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already.
You're scared of me because you can't control me. You don't. And you never will.
No, Luther. It's as it always was, on the brink, with good fighting evil. See you in 20.
On that note, here are the top 25 Superman flexes in the movies.
One of your surveillance drones.
That's a $12 million piece of hardware.
It was.
Superman is the most powerful being in the world, so it's no surprise that bro's not concerned about any price tags. Kicking things off, we have Kal-El taking down a surveillance drone with minimal effort and then flexing on Martian Manhunter's human disguise. Our man didn't care that the drone cost the government $12 million, and the way he responds to the general by saying the drone is now in the past tense was a bit too cold.
I know you're trying to find out where I hang my cape. You won't.
But then again, this is the kind of Superman the world wants to see. He's the dude who only cares about keeping humanity safe on his own terms, and he doesn't care how many expensive toys he has to destroy to make that message loud and clear.
Look, I'm here to help, but it has to be on my own terms, and you have to convince Washington of that.
I'm not trying to criticize James Gunn's apparently weaker Superman, but come on, I think it's obvious why so many of Kal-El's fans love him. And yeah, shout out to the Kansas line. Clark Kent sure knows how to crack a joke even while owning the US military.
What are you smiling about, Captain?
Nothing, sir. I just think he's kind of hot.
Get in the car, Captain.
Yes, sir.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
The older Superman movies may not have had tons of CGI, but one of the most memorable quips was that the jokes would keep finding themselves.
That's a bad outfit!
In the super famous scene where Superman saves Lois and the chopper, we get a really funny line where he tells his lady love that he's got her, but she's more concerned about who's got him. Yep, it may seem a bit cringy right now to those with Gen Z humor or younger, but back then, this was a joke that would make arenas erupt into laughter. Margot Kidder's acting may have seemed a bit awkward here, but just ask yourself a question. How would your mind be functioning if you fell off a freaking building and got rescued by a flying man?
Who are you?
A friend.
Heck, even Arnold Schwarzenegger would have loved this moment because bro saved the chopper as well. That actually adds to the flexing too, because Superman was so unbothered during the whole sequence.
Bad vibrations?
She was my world, and you took her from me.
When Superman activates the dark side, we all better run for our lives, because it's the only thing we can do to extend our lifespans. We all might think that Bruce Wayne was being a bit too paranoid about Superman turning evil, but if you look at the nightmare sequence, you'll probably understand that bro had his reasons. It was a truly chilling scene that made us all contemplate how life would turn out if the most powerful man on the planet decided to enter his Darth Vader phase. But man, that entrance with everyone bowing down to him was such an epic display of aura. Kal-El surely commands that level of respect, but to see it directed so well was a treat to the eyes. Speaking of eyes, the way Superman lasers down everyone else except Batman surely must have made Bruce Wayne remember Martha. Just look at his face. Have you ever seen such fear? That too from an iconic badass.
I have to go to Gotham to convince him to help me, or he has to die. No one stays good in this world.
Superman really has all kinds of hidden talents. Here, bro's dropping bars harder than Kendrick Lamar. There's no fancy display of power or strength in terms of physicality, but more importantly, this scene shows us the true humanity of Superman. He painfully considers the possibility of even having to take Batman's life, but the cold look he gives Lois as he makes his decision was that of a true giga-chad. The line about no one stays good in this world is surely a truth bomb, but we must also consider the fact that Kal-El is silently admitting his own conflicts. After all, if no one stays good, then the same logic should apply to Clark Kent as well. And considering the scene I just covered in the previous entry, you can say that a lot of sequences in the Snyderverse were a lot more connected than the general audience would have believed. But yeah, this was a very hard-hitting moment for everyone. Whether it's David Cronenberg's The Fly or Evil Superman, I think we should all be afraid. Be very afraid. Yeah, forget Homelander or Omni-Man. Those dudes could never even hold a candle to the wrath Kal-El could unleash if he ever went bad. Here, the main focus of the scene is between Batman and Joker, which is fair enough because it's probably the best we'll ever see from Jared Leto's version of the character.
You need me to to help you undo this world you created by letting her die.
Poor Lois. How she suffered so.
But then Daddy comes home and everyone wets their pants. I find it really funny how all of the people here have these badass post-apocalyptic costumes, and then we've got Joker who's just sitting there wearing dishwashing gloves. Well, I guess that's how his character's supposed to be, isn't it? But Jesus Christ, just take a look how angry Superman is here. Those red eyes would make anyone break a sweat, and once again, we have a very nervous Batman in front of us. So that's 2 for 2 in favour of Superman when it comes to spooking out your opposition.
Clark, no. This world needs you.
Thought you'd never get here.
Well, I hope you don't expect me to save you, because I don't do that anymore.
Don't worry, I'm long past saving. Ooh.
We've been talking a lot about him and his wrath in the last few entries, but here, I've got to admit, evil Superman's got some riz. Superman 3 is for the most part forgettable, but since we're covering all kinds of flexes, I should definitely bring up the part where evil Superman goes to the top of the Statue of Liberty to meet with Lorelei Ambrosia. Yeah, he doesn't really do much after he gets there.
What did you have in mind?
Lots of things.
It's just him saying he doesn't save people anymore, but it seems that this was enough to get Lorelei thirsting after him. I mean, yeah, she's supposed to be super cunning and all, but that look in her eyes sure suggests that she had a little crush on naughty boy Clark. If you go through the whole scene, then you'll realize it's heavily implied that the two of them got together. So yeah, I guess it really is true that the ladies like bad boys.
Take one step.
We've had enough of the bad guy, so now it's time to get back to the good old when Superman is here, there's no reason to fear. Saving Lois Lane from a bunch of token characters should be an easy feat for a man like Kal-El, but bro decided to flex without even saying a word while he was at it. The entrance was awesome, but the best part about this scene was that Lois became so calm the moment her lover boy showed up. Now, I don't know if that villain dude was able to survive such a tackle, but since bro's already snapped one neck, I think we can let this one slide too. One look between Clark and Lois was enough for her to lower her arms because she knew exactly what was gonna happen next. See, this is what I want when I think about relationship goals. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to just fly through missiles as if it's no big deal.
Maybe he's not some sort of devil or Jesus character. Maybe he's just a guy trying to do the right thing.
If you human are fighting someone like Superman, I think you should know that punches ain't gonna cut it. Just take Batman as an example. Bro prepared to the best of his ability with all the kryptonite he could get his hands on, and still wasn't enough for him to dominate the Man of Steel the way he would have wanted to. While the overall fight was pretty cool to watch, the part that made Kal-El so badass was when Bruce kept punching his face, but as the effects of the kryptonite wore off, so did Superman's pain. The look he gave Batman while being completely unfazed by the punches was probably the most aura anyone could have ever farmed in that whole movie. Say whatever you want about the Dark Knight and prep time, but the only reason he won this fight was because of plot armor.
Grayson, if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. But he is not our enemy.
You can't solve society's problems with a gun.
Clark Kent is such a Chad that he can flex with accidental sass. Over here, he can't exactly expose his superpowers and secret identity in public, so when the goon tries to force his way, bro simply tells him the guns aren't the answer. You gotta love how Clark tries to give the robber a lesson this way, rather than easily crushing the gun with his own hand. I swear, playing Clark Kent has got to be a harder job than being Superman.
Are you alright, Clark?
I guess I must have fainted.
But yeah, not only did he manage to serve a line, Kal-El also saved his girl and grabbed a bullet instantaneously, while also making it seem as if he was the one who'd been shot. Maybe he should try his hand at being James Bond. We all know that one of the character's actors is already a perfect fit for the role.
Is it worth risking your life over $10, 2 credit cards, a hairbrush, and a lipstick? Wild guess.
Oh, there he is.
We just spoke about Henry Cavill being a good 007, but for now, let's enjoy him crushing a truck like it's paper. This is our first time seeing Cavill embrace the role of Kal-El, and while he may not be in his suit here, everything about the dude gives Superman energy to the audience. The fact that he was even able to suppress his rage when the drunk guy tried to humiliate him was impressive.
Or what? Tough guy? Or...
But of course, no alpha male's gonna let such behavior go unpunished. All he needed was a bunch of tree logs and voila, you've got yourself a violent masterpiece. If this was what he did to a freaking truck, you can only imagine what he would have done to the dude if he lost his temper. I guess flexing with restraint is a virtue only a few possess.
This man is not our enemy.
Thank you, Colonel.
Hey, come on.
And yes, we now have evil Superman returning to show us the power of super peanuts. Flicking the peanuts to break the bottles in that bar was definitely an unintentional flex, but the funniest thing about this scene is that after the flex, Superman gets wasted, has the equivalent of a schizoid embolism, and fights Clark Kent. I've even thought of a movie name for such an event: Superman vs. Superman, Dawn of Alcoholism. Jokes aside, I don't want to focus on the fight with Clark Kent, because the main focus of the scene is that our man was able to make peanuts look so strong. Having said that, I wonder if bro's actually able to get intoxicated. I mean, shouldn't he be super immune to alcohol or something? Not that I have a problem with it though, because I could definitely watch more scenes like this one from Superman 3.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already.
I don't know if this should be a good thing or a bad thing, but Superman's core values allow him to show mercy whenever he can. Like when he's fighting Batman, he can literally smash his entire body to bits before anyone can even blink, but he chooses not to because he wanted to talk him out of his crazy plan. And yet, Warner Brothers also wanted to make this battle as long and drawn out as they could. There's one moment where the Man of Steel even tells the Dark Knight that if he wanted to, he'd be dead already. This is by no means an empty threat because it's as true as the word can mean. However, Bruce Wayne clearly saw it another way, which is why this flex doesn't make it beyond number 14.
You don't understand. There's no time. I understand.
There's a reason evil Superman has got multiple entries on today's list, and it's because this dude loves to troll. Like, he just blew out the Summer Olympics torch simply because he was feeling goofy. I can only imagine what all the other people sitting around there would have been thinking. After all, it's such a random act that there's no proper reaction a sane person can give to it. All these other supervillains have financial and political goals behind their actions. Superman, on the other hand, just trolls from the heart. It also makes me wonder if such acts were considered evil back in the 80s, because I don't really see him doing anything worse than these antics. What I know for sure though is that I want to watch a whole movie dedicated to evil Superman and his antics.
You always wanted to fly, Kent. Now's your chance.
Fly!
What do you hear?
Nothing.
I hear everything. You wrote that the world doesn't need a savior. But every day I hear people crying for one.
Whether it's fighting crime or hitting those philosophical notes, what can't Superman do? You know, I don't think there's going to be a Superman movie that can surpass the emotional depth portrayed in scenes like this.
Clark said the reason you left without saying goodbye is because it was too unbearable for you. Personally, I think that's a load of crap.
Clark?
This is the guy I work with.
Maybe Clark's right.
It's just so relatable, even though we'd never be in Superman's shoes. Even so, we can sense the pain he feels when he sees the love of his life writing about the world not needing a savior. And at the same time, he tells her that he keeps hearing countless voices calling out his name, begging him to save them.
Richard. He's a pilot. He takes me up all the time.
Not like this.
It's a pretty dark moment and also a great lesson on how to completely refute a Pulitzer Prize-winning piece in less than 60 seconds. Bro was in pain, but he still owned his ex without even raising his voice. No hate to Lois here, but come on, Superman will always take the W over you.
So will I see you around?
I'm always around.
Will we see you? Around?
I'm always around. Good night, Lois.
You really shouldn't smoke, you know, Miss Lane.
Would you like a glass of wine?
No thanks. I never drink when I fly.
Our man believes in healthy living and dad jokes, which just makes him so much more likable. In his interview with Lois Lane, Superman tells her about his no drinking while flying policy, which was hilarious enough. But then he also tells her how she shouldn't smoke, which was pretty cool.
Don't tell me lung cancer, right?
Well, Not yet, thank goodness.
I know some might take it the wrong way, so let me clarify that he's not ordering her or anything, but is rather showing genuine concern for her health. More importantly, the chemistry these two had together was magical.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I don't, but if I did, Miss Lane, you'd be the first to know about it.
They played their parts so well that it's hard to see anyone else playing Lois and Superman without comparing them to these two. Kudos to Superman in particular, because the dude is in a freaking unitard and he still got me to take him seriously.
What color underwear am I wearing?
Pink.
Do you like pink?
I like pink very much, Lois.
Kicking off our top 10 is a scene where Superman is standing and gaining aura points. The real line in focus is when he tells Batman,
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it.
because it's almost as if our man is telling the Dark Knight, it's over, bro, just let it go. Also, I just couldn't help myself with the part where the supposedly tough Batmobile gets wrecked in an instant simply by crashing into the Man of Steel. The slide where Bruce is almost mesmerized by Kal-El was also a cool little addition to the scene, but then again, Zack Snyder was always going to use as many slow motion shots as he could.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
I think it's safe to say that Superman is faster than pretty much anything which is man-made. In this case, it's a train that he overtakes with such joy. It's almost as if we're watching a little baby learn how to walk. Bro wasn't even trying to flex in the scene. It just naturally happens whenever he's involved. The effects aren't all that bad either for a film that was released in 1978. It's a cool sequence overall that's mainly focused on showing how badass Kal-El is.
Golly! I saw a boy up there run as fast as the train! Faster even! No one ever believes me.
But I think we should also praise the cameraman for being able to keep up with him while shooting the movie. Yeah, I'd love to see his training regime.
Clark!
How'd you get here so fast?
I ran.
Okay, this is definitely east.
Slowpoke.
You really have to be built different if you can roast the Flash in his own game. We've got another instance of Kal-El showing off his speed, but this one is from the theatrical cut of the Justice League. Having said that, I do feel they should have kept it in the Snyder cut as well. Superman was matching the Flash quite easily and even called him a slowpoke just to get on his nerves. Yeah, we all know what the Flash is capable of when he goes God mode, but if we're only talking about super speed, it's a more even competition, at least in the DCEU. Barry couldn't believe what he was seeing, but he also got pumped, so you could say that Superman flexing on him actually led to better results.
And there will be peace. There will be peace when the people of the world want it so badly that their governments will have no choice but to give it to them. I just wish you could all see the Earth the way that I see it.
Can it really get bigger than flexing on the United Nations? Superman's speech here covered some important topics regarding freedom, and he'd actually make a great politician, but I suppose fighting overpowered monsters and villains takes precedence over debating your opposition.
I thought I could give you all the gift of the freedom from war, but I was wrong. It's not mine to give.
Anyway, his speech speaks really well of his character, plus the music in the background makes it work even better. His demeanor is so gentle and honest, but at the same time, very powerful and reassuring.
We're still a young planet. There are galaxies out there, other civilizations for us to meet, to learn from. What a brilliant future we could have.
You genuinely just want to trust his words and feel safe under his protection. Also, thinking about
Is the world gonna be vaporized? No, Luther. It's as it always was, on the brink, with good fighting evil. See you in 20.
It was bizarrely prophetic, as the next Superman movie would be released almost 20 years later.
Oh no.
Here, try this one.
Whoa. Clark, are you okay?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No pain, no gain.
Oh, sure. Here.
No, Clark. Goes the other one.
No pain, no gain?
You won't let me live. You won't let me die. The world needs you. It doesn't need you. Tell me. Do you bleed?
One thing about Superman that you can always rely on is that he'll definitely return the favor. The "do you bleed" line from Batman vs Superman was a standout for sure, but Clark Kent wasn't going to let it slide after all the injustice the writers did to him. Saying the same thing back to Bruce, especially when he's not got any kryptonite on him, was a perfect redemption for Kal-El. And he also dismisses him as if he's a tiny insect, which I'm sure a lot of Batman fans may not have appreciated. Anyway, my point is that when bro has to flex, he'll flex in a way that everyone remembers. Keep in mind that this is after he humbles people like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. The only weird aspect of the scene, though, is the CGI on Cavill's mouth.
But it looks like an S.
Yes, it's meant to. A man on you. Used to say that hope is like your car keys. Easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's usually close by.
Why are you here? There must be a reason for you to be here.
Yes, I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
Donald Trump would surely have loved Christopher Reeves' version of Superman because that dude believes in the American way. This is when he gives us and Lois a rather splendid speech wherein he mentions how he likes to fight for justice in the manner fellow Americans would also do.
Sure you don't really mean that, Lois?
I don't believe this.
Lois? I never lie.
This may have had some political motivations back then when the script was being written, but the way Clark says it, it sounds so smooth and it doesn't seem unnatural at all. And it's actually quite moving if you think about it. A lot of this is because of Christopher Reeves' acting ability, but it also feels right that a superhero is speaking with such authenticity.
Hey! Can't stay still for a second.
You're scared of me because you can't control me. You don't. And you never will.
Humans will never learn, will they? You're dealing with a god-level entity from outer space who makes superhuman strength feel like a toddler's punch. So, in what universe do you think that a couple of handcuffs are going to keep him tied down? I'm sure Kal-El must have rolled his eyes over in his head a million times before he decided to show them exactly whom they were dealing with.
You let them handcuff you?
Wouldn't be much of a surrender if I resisted, and if it makes them feel more secure.
To break the cuffs so casually was enough to land this entry in the top 10, but the way he owns everyone around right after was what pushed it to number 4. Bro openly tells them that they fear him only because they can't control him, and if I was in his place, I'd pretty much be saying the same thing. Superman is very candidly calling out the humans for only wanting to control a superior being rather than trying to work with him. And this is why his words have a much higher impact in context.
Not impressed.
It's going to take a lot to impress Superman, and unfortunately for Steppenwolf, he failed that test quite badly. The reason this scene is the number 1 flex on today's video is because this very same villain was almost unbeatable when the rest of the Justice League's members were fighting him. Also, I should remind you that Superman's entrance is literally him just standing there while taking an attack in full force from Steppenwolf's weapon. To say not impressed right after is absolute Sigma. I won't talk too much about how Superman violates his opponent after this.
Well, I knew you didn't bring me back because you like me.
I don't. Not.
But I will mention how everyone could relax after his arrival.
You okay?
Who are you?
A friend.
Thank you for believing in me.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.